I don't really want to talk about this, but what am I for? I was reminded of an opinion piece on abortionism from two collaborators of Latimes. I mean, I mean the LA Times. And I meant writers, not collaborators, to writers. Quote, abortion means many things to many people. It is a very good thing. To some, abortion seems bad. To others, it seems good. Abortion means many things. Many people have different ideas about abortion. Some think abortion is good. Others think it is bad. Abortion means many things. People like abortion, while other people do not. The different ideas that many people have about abortion mean many things to them. There are many opinions. Many people have opinions about this. Abortion is a very good thing. I, I kid. You know that's not from Latimes because it is so even handed. There is only one opinion about abortionism. It is a good thing. What those who disagree with that fact have, it's not an opinion, it's bias. That's me disagreeing and therefore biased. So, the real quote from this rather long opinion piece, written a long time ago, 2008. Ahem.
35 years ago, the Supreme Court affirmed in Roe v. Wade that women have a fundamental right to choose abortion without government interference.
So, let's put on our thinking hats. The Supreme Court, most supreme, affirmed. Well, self-evident things are affirmed by reasonable people. What actually happened was that the Court Supreme imposed its will on America, subverting the democratic process in a move that even Ruth Bader Ginsburg affirmed was ill-advised. The matter should have been decided politically.
Affirmed
is not just bias, it's ignorant and or a lie. Next, women have
a fundamental right.
How odd. One would presume that fundamental rights had been affirmed in the Constitution at the time of its establishment, and one would affirm and assume that no right would be affirmed and assumed that was alien, abhorrent, and indeed anathema to the framers in the Constitution. Abortion was reviled by that distant civilization. There was no abortionism, just criminality. And can there be such a thing as a new fundamental right? Would this be an example of evolution at work? I am not a man who refuses to affirm it when he's been wrong, but facts are demonstrated, not merely asserted. Next, a woman has a fundamental right
to choose abortion.
Choice. It's such an American word, a synonym for freedom. How can having a choice be wrong? It can't be. It's just the thing that is chosen that might be wrong. The thing, abortion? I have to point out the careless oversight of the opinion piece writers. They didn't actually mean to say abortion. Abortion is such an unsightly word. It needs a pleasant-sounding alternative, like, say, choice. They meant to say that women have a fundamental right to choose choice. Ah, that sounds so much better. As we know, there are no wrong choices, only different choices. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say different. I meant diversitous, because diversity is what America is all about, whereas differences are bad. Why else would there be what we used to call affirmative action? Now it's DEI. Die, differences die. Diversity will make us all even, all the same after a while, a few centuries or millennia. Evolution will choose. Next, the fundamental right to choose abortion
without government interference.
Well, what else is it that governments do but interfere? Governments only interfere. The question is where and how. The left supposes that drug use and baby killing are morally neutral choices, if morality even exists, whereas social engineering is a good thing, funded by extorted taxes via the coercive threat of imprisonment and SWAT teams, etc. The left has no qualms about wielding government power as long as the left can choose the victims, babies mostly, and conscience. Well, that takes care of the first sentence. Oh God, I can hardly stand it.
That landmark decision.
Grave mark, except medical waste doesn't get buried. Well, maybe in a landfill.
The United States has some of the most restrictive policies on abortion in the developed world.
Yeah, the developed world, developer of mustard gas and partial birth abortion. We should be more like the developed world.
The U.S. forbids the use of federal funds for abortion.
Hi there, I'm Uncle Sam. Can I get you some more crystal meth, fentanyl? Because that's what I'm for, providing resources for your vices, facilitating your degradation.
The Supreme Court has upheld state laws that require parental consent or notification.
Draconian, a word closely related to Dracula, notorious drinker of the blood of the innocent.
Mandatory waiting periods.
Gun purchases should require a waiting period, but abortions for minors should not, because guns kill people and stuff, I guess. Abortion is a time sensitive process. Wait too long, and an abortion becomes a birth. Dang.
And anti-abortion counseling.
The gall. Sex education obviously works so well for teens, but only the I have it kind. I mean, the have sex kind. Don't have it, the baby. That would be restrictive.
The court's 2007 decision on so-called partial birth abortion was an unprecedented infringement on physician autonomy.
You see, here's how it works. A doctor knows that when a woman is in labor but doesn't want to be an actual mother, cutting up that baby in the womb is a better medical choice. Get it? And even if she or he does not know that, her or his autonomy shall not be infringed. It says so right there in the Second Amendment. Unprecedented. Simply unprecedented. Like when Lincoln sort of threw out the Dred Scott decision and infringed the slave master's autonomy to whip Sir Wade to death.
Public opinion has been relatively stable and favorable to legal abortion.
It might be true. The abortionists who wrote this opinion piece have been accurate on every other point,
Early efforts to overturn Roe failed miserably.
and the fact that the body which might have done the overturning was the same body that imposed the ruling in the first place? I'm sure my question must be illogical in some way. Us Bible thumpers are so irrational after all, and we just know that if that same body hadn't invented this new right, it would have arrived anyway, being a historical inevitability like communism.
The anti-choice movement changed tactics. 20 years ago, being pro-life was déclassé. Three-dimensional ultrasound images of babies in utero began to grace the family fridge.
Babies, your slip is showing.
Fetuses underwent surgery. More premature babies survived and were healthier. These trends gave anti-abortionists an advantage.
You think, as with sex, it is easier to kill someone when you don't have to look them in the eye. It's just too intimate.
Advocates of choice have had a hard time dealing with the increased visibility of the fetus. The preferred strategy is still to ignore it and try to shift the conversation back to women. At times, this makes us appear insensitive.
No comment. No comment needed. Okay, one comment. It makes them appear insane.
To some people, pro-choice values seem to have been unaffected by the desire to save the whales and the trees, to respect animal life, and to end violence at all levels.
My, that is an awkward sentence. Let's restate it.
Some people think abortionists enjoy a bizarre disconnect, worshipping whales and trees and animals and vermin and cowardice and feckless passivity on the one hand, while
Well, they don't quite open up that other hand for us to see what's in it. Just something pulpy, I would suppose, a sort of red paste. Go abortion!
Pope John Paul II got that and coined the term culture of life. President Bush adopted it, and the slogan, as much as it pains us to admit it, moved some hearts and minds. Supporting abortion is tough to fit into this package.
Wow, they speak a human language, these opinion piece writers. I'll give them that. If only humanity resided in words. If only humanity resided in words. Odd, though, this choice of words. It pains them. Everyone knows that pain has no place in a discussion about abortion. Everyone knows fetuses can't feel pain.
In recent years, the anti-abortion movement successfully put the nitty-gritty details of abortion procedures on public display.
Nitty-gritty, itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, okey-dokey, hokey-pokey, helter-skelter, willy-nilly, silly-willy, wee-wee-wee, all the way home, fee-fi-fo-fum, grind his bones to make my bread, if I should die before I wake.
Increasing the belief that abortion is serious business
People believe the funniest things.
and that some societal involvement is appropriate.
All the societal involvement we needed in abortion could be found. Maybe I'm thinking of another sort of society and another sort of involvement. Is this good? Bad? Under Roe v. Wade, total dead babies 63,459,781.
Those who are pro-choice have not convinced America that we support a public discussion on the moral dimensions of abortion.
I'm a little confused. The words moral and abortion in such close proximity. It's like mixing bleach and ammonia. Semantical chaos. Sheol did it before when Sheol used the phrase pro-choice values. What would their pronouns be, these authors? It's been quite a few years. People evolve. Is she a they now? My intuition is Hugh, for human.
Likewise, we haven't convinced people that we are the ones actually doing things to make it possible for women to avoid needing abortions.
Confer the preceding paragraph on sexual education, which education so clearly outlines the methods most approved
to avoid needing abortions.
Oh, it's so good, that phrase, avoid needing abortions. Hey, that's going to be my tattoo. I am the one who convinces people that I am the one actually doing things to make it possible for women to avoid needing abortions. It'll be all gothic and shiz, with skulls and blood dripping from the tips all across my belly. Way cool. How to avoid needing abortions? I suggest, per the state-mandated educational curricula, mutual masturbation, blow-up dolls, oral sex, sodomy, bestiality, necrophilia, and intercourse with extremely old people or with, the non-fertile. I think I read this somewhere.
Let's face it, disapproval of women's sexuality is a historical constant.
Me too. I'm afraid I'll fall in or be eaten.
So our claim that women can be trusted still falls on deaf ears.
Women are trusted to be mothers, one of the two most important jobs ever. Men make better executioners.
And when the choice movement seems to defend every individual abortion decision rather than the right to make the decision, it too becomes suspect.
Question: what could these writers ever consider to be a wrong decision? Because if there is no wrong decision, is there a decision at all, any more than the tide decides to flow in and flow out, just whatever, random or deterministic? And if there is a wrong decision, is it sufficiently wrong to remove the option? Honor killings, they think it's right, but we would remove the option. Widow burning, Thuggee cult, remove the option.
If pro-choice values are to regain the moral high ground.
Regain the moral high ground. And this is where we must stop. Words, it seems, do not retain humanity. If only humanity resided in words. If only humanity resided in words.